Bolden, Sonia Richards-Ross, ready to go here on day 5 in this first heat, where the top 2, Atto, in each heat will advance.
And here's a look at Tiana Daniels. 5 days ago, she made the 100-meter team. The other 2 women lead that made the 100-meter team are already at home. Her coach, Edric Floreal at the University of Texas, saying, you're running the 200 as well.
Who is Tiana up against? Well, there was a late scratching, Twanisha Terry. That's why lane 5 is open. So TT not in this women's 200-meter heat. Lena Irby is right on the inside there. But Sonia, let's take a look at Cambria Sturgis.
She's coming off a phenomenal NCAA. She won the 100 and 200 meters, and it's just her sophomore season. She was eliminated in the 100 meters in the semi, but this is her better event. She has a real chance. She's best number 4 in the world this year.
And here's a look at Lena Irby. She will probably go to Tokyo in the relay pool for the 4x4, having finished 6th in that event. She was the NCAA 400 champion 3 years ago while at Georgia. She has since turned pro and giving it a shot at 200 meters as well, where she will definitely be a threat.
It's Tiana Daniels out wide in lane 9. Top 2 go through, and there are 5 heats of the women's 200 meters.
Look at Sturgis, second from the outside. She always runs good turns, but so is Tiana Daniels, and she will come off the turn with a lead.
Lena Irby all in blue on the far right on the inside. Cambria Sturgis and Tiana Daniels. Sturgis, the collegiate star, wins this first heat over Tiana Daniels.
That might be a personal best for Daniels. Sturgis looking the way she looked when she won the NCAA 200-meter title. Good turn, really good straightaway.
Yeah, really close to a personal best. Only 400ths off for Tiana Daniels. But Sturgis looked really good. Ironically, though, she could have backed off. This is just the first round, and she's had so many races in her legs from the NCAAs and also competing here. I felt like there was a little bit of inexperience there for her to push it that hard in the first round. Tiana Daniels kind of seems to back off a bit, which is the better way to run the first round. But sometimes you just want to, for mental, just to win this race, to feel good about the fact that, hey, I'm the NCAA champ, and I'm here to win every time I step on the track. And you see her really going for it in the final 50 of this race.
And Tiana ran this race the way you have to run when you're on the outside. I don't want to see anybody until the straightaway, if at all. But Sturgis, I think, had the measure of her. And this is, you know, it confirms the brilliance of Edric Floreal, because coming into this race, Tiana Daniels had run 23:22. That was, I mean, she's behind high schoolers, but immediately, first round, almost a personal best, and she's on to the semifinal round along with Sturgis automatically.
Addo, you know what she calls herself? A gamer.
She is. That's why she's made the last 2 U.S. teams.
So, qualifying for the semifinals, Cambria Sturgis, Tiana Daniels. Let's get a field up of the 5 heats. Who is looking good? In this heat, lane 4, Desiree Bryant.
The U.S. champion in this event in 2019. She then went to the World Championships, where she finished in 4th. I guarantee you that she's going to run one of the better turns in this field. She's phenomenal on the turn. That's why she runs out on the relay.
Tamari Davis was a late withdrawal in this. That's why lane 5 is open. Thelma Davies is on the extreme inside in 3.
In lane 4.
Here is battle in lane 6. Only 4 Americans have run faster, coming off of her senior year at Ohio State. She didn't get out of the heats in this event in the 100, but this is her better event. She has run 22:28. That's the kind of time where if she comes here and starts setting some personal best, she's going to be a threat to make that team.
Desiree Bryant, 2019, she was the U.S. champion at 200 meters. And Addo, you talk about her turn. It is always blistering. She gets out the blocks well. Even in the 100 to 60 meters, she usually leads. But she's able to really hold it in the 200, usually really impressive in this event.
And she is the answer to the question, can short women run really good 200 meters? She is 5 feet, maybe an inch. She's as good as anybody else in America. Personal best 22:18.
2021 ACC 200-meter champ Elfriede Steele out wide in lane 8. Here comes Desiree Bryant in the middle.
Woo, she came out of those blocks low, and she will come off the turn with a meter lead.
Anavia Battle on the outside of her, and Battle is going to take it to the line over Desiree Bryant in a fine run.
That was a comfortable win for Battle. She ran a decent turn and came off the final 100, looked really strong, very close to a lifetime best for her as well in the first round. These are the Olympic trials. People show up, and this stadium and this track is fast. The crowd is right on you. It's a good place for you to come out and run really well, and she looked completely in control, although Bryant came off the turn in front of her. She wasn't rattled. She just stuck to her race strategy and looked, and she's not even breathing hard, Otto.
Yeah, so Battle is third from the outside. When you put forth this sort of effort and you're within a tenth of your personal best, that's an indication of somebody ready to set personal best as the rounds go on. That is very comfortable to run 22.37 and advance with Bryant into the semifinal round. You see Bryant on the right working a lot harder. Battle, ready for battle in these 200-meter rounds.
Anavia Battle, the 22-year-old from Michigan. She won the 2021 Big Ten Championship in both the 100 and 200, and she wins this second heat of the women's 200 here at the Olympic trials. So, Tiana Daniels, Cambria Sturgis, Anavia Battle, and Desiree Bryant are the first 4 women through to the semi-finals of the women's 200. And we're only just getting going. That's 2 of 5 heats. Quinera Hayes, winner in the 400. She's ready to run 200. A lot of heats here. You will see the winner of the 400-meter final, Quinera Hayes. Thrilled to be off to Tokyo. And, you know, there's been so many stories during the global pandemic. Quinera Hayes has one as well. That is that her son, Demetrius, went to visit the grandparents in the Bahamas, and there was a hiccup with travel, and Quinera was separated from her son for 4 months. As any parent, as I am, will tell you, that must have been excruciating. Demetrius, who was the star of one of our shows after the 400-meter final for women, got on the track with Alison Felix's daughter, Cameron. It was a wonderful family moment. But now, Sonia, it's time to get back to work.
That's right, and there's nothing like winning your favorite event first. And she's already on the team in the 400, and now she has a shot to make the team in another individual event. But I'll tell you, this double is not easy. You feel good in the first round, feel good in the second round, but then you really start to feel it in the final. So she'll really need to conserve energy if she wants to have a shot at making the team in the 200 as well.
Quinera has just 2 athletes inside her, Angie Anellis and Alexa Rossum, in lanes 4 and 3. In lane 7 is Jenna Prandini.
And I think her confidence will be buoyed by getting that 4th place in the 100 meters last Saturday. This is her better event. She's number 5 in the U.S. with the withdrawal of Sha'Carri Richardson from these rounds. She made the Olympic team in 2016. You'll remember a spectacular dive kept Alison Felix off the 200-meter team 5 years ago to go to Rio. And I think she's going to start to set season's best here. She's run 22:43 this year, but as I said, when you do well in the 100 and this is your better event, you feel like, hey, now I'm ready to run a really fast 200.
That's right, and she's in her home stadium. She, too, one of the Ducks that came out of this amazing program.
She's also a long jumper, although we don't see her long jump anymore, right? So she was the NCAA champion for Oregon back in 2015. And twice she was an NCAA champion in the long jump, and then she turned pro and said, okay, I'm going to do the 100 and the 200 with the focus on the 200, no more long jump. But we'll learn a lot now about how much Quinera Hayes, the 400-meter trials champion, has left in the tank. She's in lane 6, Prandini in 7.
Let's not forget about lane 8 either. Brittany Brown,
the silver medalist from the World Championships.
Here we go, heat 3 of the women's 200. Quinera Hayes in blue and green right in the center of your screen.
And Jenna Prandini, like Otto mentioned, ran so well in the 100, and she's using that speed. This is the best I've seen her look in a long time. She's dominant, she's in control. This is how she looked when she ran for Oregon. Great start for her.
Jenna Prandini with the win of Heat 3, and comfortably so in 22:15 over Brittany Brown.
That's a personal best for Jenna Prandini, and she stopped running in the last 50. So, as I said before the race, when you run a good 100 and you come into this race and this is your better event, you have all the confidence in the world. Did she look relaxed, or was it just me?
Sure
She
did.
looked supremely relaxed. So there's Jenna Prandini in underneath the spot. And Sonia, she just came off and said, I'm just going to lift to the finish line.
She's one of those athletes who many people thought would go on to do great things at the professional level, and she's always been just right there. Well, this looks like the Jenna Prandini many of us expected after her collegiate success at this event.
She has gone to the Olympics, she's gone to the World Championships, guys, and she's never made a final. I think those days are over because Jenna Prandini has timed her season perfectly in 2021. That was impressive.
So Jenna Prandini, Brittany Brown, Quinera Hayes finished third. So Quinera will need to rely on her time because it's the top two from each of the 5 heats that immediately get qualified for the semi-finals. Hence the cue on the graphic there for Jenna Prandini, Brittany Brown. And we'll keep an eye on those times with 2 more heats to come in the women's 200. Allyson Felix is in one of those two in Tokyo, and heading to Tokyo is Allyson Felix. She finished second in the women's 400 meters to make her 5th Olympic team. She will be in the 5th heat coming up shortly of the women's 200, but on track right now is heat number 4 as we continue to build the field of semi-finalists either on automatic qualifying positions or time. And in this 4th heat, lane 7, Gabby Thomas.
One of my favorite youngsters. She made it in the 100-meter final, finished 5th, so she will be in the relay pool. This is her better event. Harvard grad, now trains in Austin with a stellar group of young ladies. She's in grad school studying epidemiology in her off time. And when I talk to her coach, she says sometimes she forgets that this young lady is in grad school because she balances all so well.
Gabby's up against Kyra Jefferson in lane 3, Kasia Chandler coming off her junior season at Cincinnati, Maya McCoy, and Kennedy Flannel on the far outside in lane 8.
Here's Kyra Jefferson 4 years ago on this track, except running the opposite way towards the Bowerman Tower. She had the race of her life to break a 28-year-old collegiate record. She hasn't been able to match that sort of form as a pro, but I think she will have figured out her season, and I expect her to run very well here out of lane 3. Gabby Thomas in lane 7 on the outside.
And what makes Gabby so dangerous, too, is that she's been running well at 400 meters as well. So you put the 100, 200, and 400. She gave herself all the options. I think she's going to do really well in the 200 here.
Yeah, I have her picked in my top 3 to actually make the team. She's been running that well.
It's heat 4 of the women's 200 meters, and second from the left is Gabby Thomas, the favorite in this heat.
Gosh, she ran a great first 50 and now hit the reward for it as you come off the turn with a lead. Sonia talked about her strength lead. Nobody's going to pass her late.
On her outside is Flannel, and Flannel's looking good to make it. Yep, she'll go straight through to the semis. Gabby Thomas wins. Flannel second. And it was Kyra Jefferson in lane 3 in 3rd. She'll need to rely on her time, but Gabby Thomas pleased with that run.
As she should be. She almost set a personal best by 0.2 of a second. In fact, she's the first woman in the world under 22 seconds. So, hello, Dina Asher-Smith of Great Britain. Hello, Shawnee Miller-Weibo of Bahamas. Waiting in Tokyo. We expect them to be, but Gabby looked great in the first 50, Sonia, and then you talked about her strength. She's been running those quarter miles.
22 flat is that barrier that all 200-meter women hope to break, and to do it in the first round at the Olympic trials. She is working, but she still has a lot left in the tank. 21.98, a really great indicator for what she has in store.
Hey, Addo, I can hear people at home saying we've seen 2 heats and 2 very impressive times. What's the wind reading?
The wind for all of these races has been legal, the highest being Jenna Prandini's, which was a 1.9. But all the wins have been legal, and these women have been taking advantage of it. Personal best for Thomas and Prandini.
Thomas and Flannel auto qualify for the women's 200-meter semi-finals, and I can tell you that with her time, Quinera Hayes has already qualified to the semi-final as well. Time to say hello to Lewis Johnson. Hey, Lou.
Hey, Diff. So, Gabby, just give us a sense of this race and just your overall experience so far at these trials.
I'm feeling really good. I went outside my comfort zone, competed in the 100, and I'm feeling really confident after my performance in that event. So I'm really excited to see what I can do in this 200.
And we are as well. And we all want to know, how in the world do you balance out all the academic endeavors, working on your masters, as well as this high-level running to make the Olympic team?
I love everything I'm doing, so I just get fueled by that.
All righty, Gabby, thanks.
Thank you.
Tremendous performance. 21.98 for Gabby Thomas. And that's 4 down, 1 to go as far as the heats for the women's 200. And as we promised you, here is Allyson Felix, the 9-time Olympic medalist, 6 of them gold. She's heading to Tokyo, and she's going to achieve a dream. And that dream is performing for her daughter, Cameron. And Cameron's old enough now. There's Cammy. Cameron's old enough now that she'll remember this. She'll remember Mummy at the Olympics.
And she'll remember that her mother ran a storming last 50 to put herself on the team and get second.
Jeter, who has been in this position many times before and has been preparing her for this opportunity and this moment. She was eliminated in the heats of the 100. So she should have fresh legs and should be able to make it through this round and into a final.
Only Sturgis has run faster than Clark in this entire field.
Final heat of the women's 200. Top 2 will go through. Allyson Felix, second from your right.
And that's encouraging to see Allyson Felix hanging on to these youngsters, because we know that her damage is going to be done in the second half of this race.
Tamara Clark doing a nice job, all in red, center of your screen. Morlakea Kinnison, and then Allyson Felix. But it's Clark with the win in a 22.44.
So Allyson Felix will not be automatically qualified. That's always a danger. Top 2 in each heat, and then the next 6 fastest. But I think Allyson is thinking, look, I've got to survive 2 more rounds at best. Let me make sure that I manage my energy. She probably doesn't have her legs all the way back from the 400, son.
And like you said, I mean, for her, this was always going to be the tougher team to make, and that's why she really focused on the 400. Tamara Clark running really well, and Morlakea Kinnison, who has always been great at 100 meters, didn't make the team in the 100, so she'll have a chip on her shoulder here, and she's a decent 200-meter runner as well. So those 2 women crossed the finish line first, but it looks like Allyson Felix will be in the semifinal.
Yes, she makes it on time, along with Cassandra Hall, Angie Anellis, Lena Irby, Kyra Jefferson, and also Quinera Hayes, all making it on time. So Felix through to the next round, to the semi-finals, which happen right here tomorrow. And you'll see it live on NBCSN. Here are those key qualifiers for the women's 200 semis. See if your favorite athlete is there, but confirming that Allyson Felix will go through to the semis. Lewis?
All right, well, Allyson, good news. You have advanced to the semifinals, and you just made your 5th Olympic team on Sunday. How did the legs, your body respond here to this 200?
A little rusty, trying to just get them turning over, and, you know, thankfully I'm coming back.
Yeah, look, a big deal that you made this 5th team. Have you allowed yourself at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes of celebration? Anything to celebrate it?
I got to hang with my family, and that was really special before I went back to work.
All right, and your full intention is to make this team into 2 as well. How do you see your progress going through the next rounds?
Yeah, I know it's going to be difficult, but, you know, trying to sharpen myself up a little bit and, you know, just keep going.
All right, Allyson, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Family time. The juice to refill the tanks, to re-energize. It's been the important ingredient in Allyson Felix's return to the track after giving birth to Cameron. Difficult circumstances, but this road to Tokyo has been fantastic for Felix.